Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? HBCU better go. HBCU. From the C-I-double-A or the C-I. HBCU is where to be. We can be, but we're family. From the swag, from the MEAC. What's really going on, everybody? Hey, good evening. It's April 27, 2025. Listen, my apologies. I had an alumni meeting to go to this evening, and I'm just getting home. But I just had to get here to be here with you all tonight. Listen, we are here for another edition of the HBCU Man Cave. It's your boy, it's your uncle, it's your cousin, it's your best friend. It's A. Harris Brown, and you already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of the HBCU Man Cave, where grown men gather to build, vent, laugh, and lift each other up while talking about manhood, mental health, and the culture. Now, this is a space and a place where healing meets hype and wisdom meets real talk. Whether you're tuning in from your dorm room, your driveway, or from your downtime, thank you for tapping in, and you picked a good night to pull up. Now, today's topic. Well, I ain't gonna tell you today's topic right there because y'all be like, yeah, right. But usually around this time, I always would typically say, yeah, solo in the man cave. But today, I'm riding solo in the man cave. Listen, our good brother Shay could not make it tonight. He had a comedy show. In his other life, he's a comedian, right? So he had a comedy show to do today, so he could not be with us. And then Shane is somewhere in Jamaica. Listen, that brother is living his best life. He is now retired from the military, probably about 10 days, 15 days out. He's getting ready to graduate real soon with his PhD. So is his father. So, yeah, he in Jamaica, just having a great time. So, I can't ask Shane. Well, Shane, if you're watching us, bro, what's in your cups? I know if you in Jamaica, there's something special in your cup. Now, with all that said, I don't even want to hear what you got to say. But listen, we are blessed to have some great guests with us today. First, let me introduce young brother. He's a true creative powerhouse in the building. And his name is Austin Reed. He's a writer, producer, entertainer, and serial entrepreneur. Now, you've seen his magic behind the scenes of major projects like, I hope we're not making this up, and this is real, not messing with you, Bel Air and Fight Night, produced by Will Packer. Listen, I need this brother's autograph already. He's worked alongside industry giants like Devon Franklin, Kevin Hart, and the late David A. Arnold. Okay, come on. He's also a proud HBCU graduate of Oakwood University. Yes. Whether it's content creation, storytelling, or just bringing energy wherever he goes, Austin's doing it all with purpose and passion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching us right now, please in the chat, let us know. Let's welcome the good brother Austin to the show today.
Hello. What is going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's really good?
Nothing much. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This is gonna be a great conversation. So thank you.
Dude, wait a minute. You didn't work on Bel Air and Fight Night?
Yeah, so I got worked on season 3 of Bel Air, season 1 of Fight Night, and I just got picked up to work on season 4 of Bel Air. We're in pre-production right now.
Let me hold something till I get right.
Let me hold something till I get right. Look, I'm still trying to make it out here.
All the way from Oakwood University?
Yes, sir. In Huntsville, Alabama. Yep.
Ooh, were you in the choir?
I was in dynamic praise, actually.
Listen.
Yep.
So I've met some alums, some students from Oakwood, and I always say that I enjoy watching your Friday night service.
Yes, our AYM service. Yep.
Yeah. So if I'm ever home, so when I'm home on Friday nights, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Oakwood University.
Yeah. There you go. Come on. Come on. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Here's that. I'm like, I'm watching. Then if I'm home on Saturday, oh, I'm catching the Saturday service.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's an experience for sure. Oakwood University is a once in a lifetime experience, one of one. So I appreciate you for tapping in. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Now listen. Also, you are not our only guest. I'm glad I'm not here by myself today because my co-hosts are just all they just they all just kicking. They all having cocktails and smoothies and bum clots and everything. I don't know what Shane doing. Listen, I ain't gonna. Listen. Anyway, let me introduce our next guest. Our next guest. Joining us is a legend himself in the photography and media world. Now, Dr. Antoine Dwayne Jones, I hope I'm saying that right. The celebrated photographer, founder of ADJ Media, Majority Greek Magazine, and the Pearly Awards. He's also the author of The Down Entrepreneur, now the blueprint to business rejuvenation. I'm the creator of Honorable Mention, a mentorship program empowering young Black men, a proud Fayetteville State University alum and a 26-year member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Now, Dr. Jones has built a legacy of excellence, entrepreneurship, and giving back. Brother, Dr. Jones, welcome to the cave.
Yeah. What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Man, how you doing today?
Look, I'm hyped with y'all. Look, you got me hyped right now.
This bro coming here suited and booted. He didn't just say he got the bow tie on. This man is that I'm trying to look at it. What is that velvet?
Yeah, that's a little velvet for you. You know, we had the debutante ball today, so we had to do what we do. So it's been a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brother come over here with the velvet. Fayetteville State University. How was that experience, brother?
Oh, that was an amazing experience. I mean, I'm a CIAA for lifer, so I started at Johnson C. Smith, transferred to Fayetteville State, so I'm CIAA through and through, and maybe this is an amazing experience to be part of that world, to be a Bronco. Now I got a Bronco next gen coming in, so my son starts at Fayetteville State in June. He's gonna be on the drum line of MBX, so it's gonna be an amazing time to see that legacy come through as well. So I'm gonna be on the yard, stomping on the yard a little bit more next year.
Oh, yeah. And then you see all the blue five behind him, right?
Yeah, you already know that, man.
He had to come in here and let somebody looking like old Neo or something with all.
Hey, look, we got it. Look, you got the Bronco stuff back there. You got the fake. Yeah, well, look, we gotta represent hard. You know what I'm saying?
All right, wait a minute. Now, I'm curious about what is honorable mention.
Honorable mention. So on the fraternity side, I'm the international chairman for Sigma Fathers. So I've been on 2 terms of just creating resources, finding resources and avenues that will help impact the fathers of the fraternity. So I created honorable mention as a way to make sure that all men are included in that. You know, we have a lot to give. We have a lot of healing to do. We got a lot of collaborations we need to start. And especially now, Black men need to be a little bit more united. So I just created a program that we're starting to build that will cater to the men, especially the Black and brown men.
Now, gentlemen, I forgot to tell you before we started the show that typically, and I was rushing today. I didn't even grab me nothing to drink. I don't have a cup. I don't have a glass. I don't have nothing. But if you all are having anything, because in the man cave, we grown folks here, so you can have something to drink on the side, or you can have your cigar if you needed to, whatever you want. But now I'm gonna just throw it out to my viewing audience, whether you're watching this on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. And thanks if you're watching us on the platforms for Historically Black Sense. So before we dive into our headlines today, you know the rules, ladies and gentlemen. What is in your cup tonight? So whatever you may be drinking on, please make sure you leave a comment in the chat and let us know your HBCU and what are you sipping on tonight. But for me tonight, I'm sipping on Mind My Business Punch which is refreshing and drama-free.
Look, we on juice today. I ain't advertising for it. Just a little juice, just in case we did a little parched. You know?
He said,
cool, calm, and collected the first call. So I got my little hydro flask, some water in there. So that's what.
Okay, so you on that? I'm booked, busy, and balanced blend right now.
Just right now.
So now, guys. First of all, sometimes I can talk about our trending topics. We got some trending topics out here that impacts the culture. So first, I want to talk a little bit about, there was a conversation about Black men embracing rest, travel, yoga, and journaling.
Okay.
So Black men and the soft life movement, they call it. So when we think about this and you see Black men journaling, and sometimes in their silk robes and they're catching flights instead of feelings, the game is changing. Soft life is looking mighty good to many of our brothers out here. What is your thoughts for you all when we talk about Black men embracing rest, travel, yoga, and journaling?
For sure.
I'll let him handle that first. I have my interpretation, but I'm a little different. But go ahead, bro.
It's funny because I do all four. I don't like the term soft life. I don't think that's I feel like that has a negative connotation with it. But I do feel like it's important to prioritize rest and mental health and all that stuff. And honestly, again, you mentioned travel, you mentioned journaling, you mentioned yoga, you mentioned rest. I prioritize all four of those things in all actuality. My goal for 2025 specifically was to travel as much as possible. I was going to travel. I was going to take one trip a month, and it's April, and I've done that so far. I've done 2 in March, 1 in February, 1 in January, and I got some trips lined up. And I took one in April as well, got some trips lined up. So it's very important for me, especially in my career field and everything that I'm doing, to really just prioritize, again, like my rest and my sanity and my mental state. Because if I don't prioritize this, this is what creates everything, my brain and all that stuff. And that's where the content comes from. That's where the creativity comes from. So if I don't prioritize that, I'm not prioritizing myself, and therefore I cannot, do my job. So I journal every day. I do yoga, not as often as I wanted to anymore, but I do yoga at least once a month.
Okay.
And then resting. I don't play about my naps. I'll take a nap before I do anything else.
Listen, I love me a good nap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm gonna get it in. What about you?
So, we definitely have to expound on the soft life, So here's the thing. I just talked about this maybe 20 minutes ago. Our fathers and grandmothers and great grandmothers and great parents, we overturned ourselves into oblivion with the soft life and the alpha male and beta and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're just people. So I don't, me journaling or me doing stretching or whatever like that has nothing to do with the stereotype of being soft. It's about being a human being and needing to make sure that you take care of yourself, especially as men. So if we want to lead, provide, or do whatever, we need to be able to, we need to be functional enough to be able to do that. And we need rest. We need leisure time, can't work ourselves into a grave, and that used to be something that I used to do a lot, and I work a lot, but we use that term. You can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, here for it.
Right, you probably can sleep when you're dead. You will definitely do that, but you get yourself there earlier if you don't get you some rest and eat properly and all that. So I started taking that back. So I'm a flight taker now. I was a single dad. I will hop on a flight immediately now that I don't have to do the day-to-day interactions of a child. So I'll be gone. So I'm not home is the best. I can do the yoga on the plane. I can stretch on the plane, lean back and I can do all that. I can do all that on the plane or in the car somewhere. So I do prioritize that. I'm private, but I do a lot when it's as opposed to getting out, travel, enjoying myself a little bit more than I probably did when I was younger.
You know what I think about how, I don't know about the soft life, but all those things, yes, because I'm like you, except for January, I take a break. I don't travel, but I try to all the rest of the year, like all last year for 2024, every month a bag was packed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We were somewhere.
Yeah.
So I didn't get. My schedule got busy for the month of April.
Yeah.
But I leave Thursday morning.
Okay.
So I got 2 trips in May to make up for my missed trip in April.
There you go.
Okay, I like that.
I'll take it back. I actually got 3 trips in May.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Oh yeah, so we just gonna be just rotating bags.
Yeah. Right. Just watch them. Leave that dirty pile over there. Grab your new set. Jump back on the plane. I'm with it.
Yeah. So we got that. Listen, because we got that TSA pre-check. We got the clear.
Both of them.
Oh yeah, we ain't playing no games.
Like I look at both lines. I ask the people. I say, which line is faster today? Oh, clear. Okay, let me go ahead and slide down clear. But TSA faster, we're gonna go that way.
Right. So we gonna get it in. We gonna get these miles in. Now, my other one is my other trending topic. I wanted to just kind of get you all on this talk about the story about quiet ambition is the new flex. Now, according to a Newsweek article, let me see if I can pull this article up real quick. Why are millennials being described as pouring from an empty cup every day? Now, I think I got a video clip to go with this. Let me see if I can pull up this. Roll that beautiful bean footage real quick.
People think, oh, these kids are so burned out, they're just lazy. It's like, no, they're working 40 hours a week, but at the end of the month, they have nothing to show for it. So if you're not making any progress and you look back 5 years and go, damn, I made $300,000 in the last 5 years, or I made $400,000 in the last 5 years, and I have nothing. If anything, I have $25,000 in debt. That's going to create burnout because you feel like you just put in 5 years of work and have nothing to show for it. And we still have people blaming them that, well, the reason you're broke is because of the coffee. It's like, no, it's the 25% inflation that we've faced that just destroyed people's spending power. It's the 30% increase in rent prices where people are spending 40% of their money on rent. You're still being taxed 20, 25, 30%. People just don't have any money. People aren't having kids. They're not being able to start families. People are struggling financially, fighting financially. Relationships are suffering. This is all decline in living standards. You realize millennials with degrees are living with roommates into their 30s, not having kids? How do you have a Thanksgiving in a 900 square foot apartment? How do you have a dog and go play in the backyard and make memories with your kids? I was living in an apartment complex just 2.5 years ago. Tons of kids. They may do, but they're all playing on the cement floors in the hallway because they don't have a yard. Because houses are $400,000. Humans are good at adapting, but there's a fine line between adapting and being taken advantage of, and I think we're being taken advantage of.
That part. Well, so now this leads us into today's topic about, listen, because a lot of brothers out here think that they're lazy when really they're just burnt out. They're just burnt out. We're tired. Can we just not be burnt out from just doing the most? Have you all ever been burnt out? Have you ever got to the point where I'm tired and I have to unplug? What you think, guys?
Yeah, no, I think that there's definitely like a difference between tiredness versus like being burnt out. And that's again why I definitely prioritize, my rest, my mental health, all that stuff, because there are times, especially as a creative, I do get burnt out and I really have to take a step back and again, just prioritize myself, because as a creative, if I am not taking care of myself mentally, I'm not able to do anything, whatsoever, and like much less even take care of myself. And so again, that's really why I do prioritize my mental health, my rest, all that stuff. And this is something that I've learned later on in life. I'm 25 years old. I just turned 25 in February. And I feel like within the past, maybe like 6 months or so, that's kind of really what I've taken in and made sure that I do is prioritize myself, prioritize rest, all that stuff. Because when I first moved out to LA, I'm on year 3 now being out here. But when I first moved out to LA, I was literally like, going to every event, meeting with everybody, trying to get those connections, all that great stuff. And now I'm at the place where I have those connections and I still feel like I have to go a little bit harder, do a little bit more, but also, you can't work as hard if you don't, have that rest and things like that. So yes, I've definitely felt burnt out. I've definitely been tired before, but again, when I'm feeling like I'm on the cusp of burnt outness or tiredness or whatever, I definitely take hold, turn off my phone, take a nap, whatever the case may be, and just reset for myself.
Okay. And how do we make sure, Doc, that we don't think of this burnout as someone just being lazy? Or have you ever heard someone say, "Oh, you're just being lazy"?
Well, I mean, that's why you hang around people that know you and know your heart. That haters gonna hate. That's what they were born to do. So people always gonna have something to say, but it's totally up to you to do what you need to do to make your life better. So as men, sometimes we think that's the work, and then we find out that we're missing the buck on other stuff. We're missing the buck on relationships with the kids or the wife or the girlfriend or the family because we're working, and that's not necessarily what we were designed to do. No matter what, social media might tell us to work and die. But if we prioritize taking care of ourselves, then we're gonna do what we need to get done. And sometimes that may seem like a whole lot of work. Like that young fella said his long life, and I was expecting him to say he was about 45, but he hit me with some 20. I was like, Jesus, he aged both of us real quick. I was like, but that does seem to be the trend. It's like the amount of stress on these millennials and Gen Zers is amazingly higher than what we had, because it seemed like we have more opportunities than they do, even though they have more access to stuff.
They do.
So they have access to stuff like these. It's little people walk around in diapers that know how to work an iPad and all that stuff now, and it's crazy. But the opportunity for them to socialize and have the social skills is a little bit less because everybody's in their phone, everybody's on some type of electronic device. So it seemed like it's more pressure on them, because I didn't get cyberbullied as a kid. I could just turn the computer off.
I don't know what that means.
But those are real topics for people that are in that 15 to 30 range. You can get bullied from across the nation. Well, we didn't have to deal with that.
I heard some students say that one time about, she bullying me on the computer. Like, well, turn the computer off.
Create another account. It's like, I'm Ghost. It's cool. We survive the lunch table every day. I can survive somebody talking junk to me from Indonesia, but
I was the one. I ain't gonna hold you, because I was the one. Like, if you walk past me and you had some French fries, they were hot out the grease at lunch, I'm gonna take them. I mean, but that, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I need to put it in my book one day. All right. So here's a question for you all. Can you all share? Is there any personal crash and burnout moment that you ever had, personal or professional? I know you all have. You all got a lot of. We talked about your bios real briefly. Y'all. Also out here in California. Man, you just now leaving the gala. I'm quite sure that at some point, was there ever a crash and burn moment?
Oh yeah. If you experience life, you're gonna have a few. I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been in toxic relationships, I've been by myself. So it's all kind of situations where I've crashed. But I've learned that I try to say this on any platform I'm on, just to make sure we give Black men this understanding that it's okay to not be okay, right? So if I was born in a Christian household, and that might be one of the Black man's worst things is to be raised in just pray about it and Jesus got you.
Oh my God.
Jesus do have you, but God created everything, right? So I think that God will be wise enough to create people that will put on this earth, that went to school for 11 years, that will be able to help you navigate through your brain. So going to a therapist or a psychologist or psychiatrist can't be a bad thing, because God allowed them to gain that knowledge. And those people that are on this earth can help you navigate through all that stuff. And typically you're gonna be like, doctor, man, I can't get along with my girlfriend. They're gonna be like, what happened to you when you was 8? It's gonna be something way back when you was a kid that you didn't deal with. And now you're dealing with it, and you get an understanding of that. Now you can move forward as a man, because you have some understanding of what happened in the past, and that can help you in the future.
But even Jesus, I don't mean to make this a Bible study moment, but I'm gonna go there. He had his 12 boys that he could talk to.
Right.
If he ever was going through something, and if they weren't available, he knew he could still go to the Garden of Gethsemane and go talk to his daddy because that was a form of therapy.
Right.
Even when he recognized and realized that he like, Dad, one of my boys is gonna turn on me. Come on, somebody. Y'all don't hear me.
Right. You know, with it. They
So there
went,
was even with that, there was a conversation that he had to have, and he didn't hold it in.
right. Come on, bro. You with it.
All right, I'm sorry. Come on. Austin, crash and burn, bro. Even though you at 25, I don't
Bro, have you crashed yet? He like, man, I ain't crashed yet. I'm still on the runway.
I have. I think that that's like, I mean, I know y'all are joking, but I think that's a misconception. Like, I feel a lot of people think that just because we're young, like we haven't gone through like moments where we've crashed and burned in a sense. And yes, I have. You know, statistically, you know, your frontal lobe develops at 25. And, you know, I've definitely kind of felt that development within the past few months. You know, like I said, I just turned 25 in February. It is kind of looking back in some of the moments that I've, you know, faced when I was like 21, 22, 23. Like, yes, for sure, there's been moments where I've crashed and burned, specifically recently, I would say, like over this past summer. I was in between shows. I'm finishing up like two personal projects. My aunt passed away. I was going through my master's program, all that great stuff. And so it just, everything all at once just happened. And I just remember just like being so stagnant. I couldn't do anything. Like I was not eating, even though like I was starving. I couldn't keep anything down, even though I still wasn't eating. I couldn't get out of bed, but I couldn't sleep. So it was crazy. So literally for like a week, like I didn't answer anybody. I kind of, you know, took account into myself, journaled, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, I kind of came out of that. But yeah, it was definitely a crash and burn moment for sure. Because again, I just felt like so many things were just thrown on me and I just couldn't take it anymore. And yeah, and so I like that moment that happened back in August. That's why now I'm just so focused on making sure that my mental health is like my top priority and my rest is my top priority. And I'm such a nice person, but also like setting boundaries, saying no to certain things. Like just because my schedule allows it doesn't mean that I should do it. And even just like even showing up for people, because I'm the type of person where I don't necessarily like expect you to do things that I wouldn't do for you. So if somebody tells me to pull up, you know, to their birthday party, you know, 12 a.m., like I'll pull up because I want you to do that as well. But also it's a matter of, am I tired? Like, is it worth it? Like, can I do it? And being okay with like not doing something because, you know, you're tired or you need some rest.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, okay. Don't sleep on me. I'm 25, but you know, I'm going through some things.
I mean, hey.
So I would think for me, I mean, I can be honest with you. I think I probably crashed out just not too long ago, just a couple weeks ago. I was just like, I had to unplug from everything. I was just like, I can't do it. I was stressed. It was between the first job, the part-time job, school, church, family. It was just it got to the point where I was stressing. I couldn't manage. You know, again, I always tell people, listen, I'm thankful for my therapist and my psychiatrist. Oh, come on, because I will talk to both of them.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of confidants that I will reach out to if I need to. And I think my psychiatrist actually had to increase my meds. I ain't listen. I will be one to say I'm gonna take that good med. It's my good happy pill. So they had to increase my happy pill to kind of get me regulated a little bit because I was off. Because I had unplugged from some people, and I had people calling me like, we're about to send out the APB on you, brother. We ain't heard from you. We ain't seen you. They're like, we checking your social media. You ain't posted. They're like, this is not like you not to post. At least something about work, something about the kids, something about HBCU. Like, you ain't posted nothing. I'm like, nope, I didn't. And I think the brother reached out to me because I sent him last week's show. And he was like, oh, at least I know you live. He said, I got the link to last week's show. So at least I know I can see you on the screen. I know you still live and you breathe and you exist. He said, but that don't make up the fact that you ain't called me in about 2 weeks that I know. But I'm back now. I'm a little bit more together.
Good.
I'm back together a little bit. I ain't some of the stress is starting to wean off. I was telling some alumni friends today. I said, listen, I got one more project. They wanted like, well, can you meet this week? No. I still got a plane to check to get on Thursday morning, but I got one more class I got to finish by Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure it out. We're going to get it done. But other than that, yeah. So now, got a question for those who are watching us right now, whether you are watching us, and I got some folks watching us on Instagram who was telling me earlier about, I was preaching. I didn't mean to, y'all, for those of y'all that know, to my next calling, this is the church stress now. I've now been elevated to a new level of minister. And so now that was stressful for me. I was excited, but I'm like, oh my God, now the additional pressure just put on me, Pastor. Thank you.
No pressure, bro.
And he decides he want to, and he gonna decide he gonna take off today. He was out sick today. He like, okay, it's on you and Reverend Johnson today. Like, oh really? Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, but anyway, all right. So, question for you all, and this is even for those who are watching us online, whether Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Have you ever felt guilty for resting? Have you ever felt guilty for resting? Uh-oh. No. Look at Antoine. He like, well.
Nah, because I don't do it too often. So now I be chilling when I'm resting because I know I don't do it often. I know I'm not gonna let myself crash because I was tired. Yesterday, okay. I was tired today because it's been a full day. But nah, if I shut it down, to relax for a day or two, then I don't feel bad about it all because I know I put in the work. I know why I put in the work, for my family, for my friends, from make sure my businesses are viable. So if I take a day off, that's because I needed it. And I recognize that I needed that day off. So now I'm not feeling bad for resting.
Wow, I do got some people in the chat right now who are telling us that I got a brother, right? Somebody said tread lightly. Tread _lightly _ I'm fragile says all the time. Wow. Another brother said I would want to push harder, sometimes it feels the pressure. Also, what about you? Have you ever felt guilty for resting?
Yeah, all the time. I think that because, again, in my career field, not just the writer of productions, I am a TV and writing. I'm a TV writer and producer. But outside of that, I create content and stuff like that. And so I'm literally on the go 25/8. So if I'm not at work, I'm at home editing content. Even at work, I'm editing content. Even at home, I'm editing content and doing stuff for work. And so it's a constant kind of just like around the clock type of situation. And so when I do have those moments of time where I'm just like chilling or vibing, I definitely try to fill them in with like, oh, well, I can write this quick post for my blog, or I can finish up this script, or I can edit this like little TikTok real quick, or this Instagram post. But again, as of recently, within the past like 6 months, I've really just like made sure that when I'm sitting down or like when I'm resting, like that's the time to rest. That's not the time to like catch up on emails or like, finish something, because I'll never get the proper rest that I need or the proper reset that I need. And so it's very important for me to do so. But yes, in the past, and even still now, I'm working on not being guilty for resting, but it's a necessity.
I would say I think at one time I was. I think at one time I did feel guilty for resting, but now, the hell would you think? When I need a nap, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do it today, because that was like a couple weeks ago. I was at work on a Monday, and I just said it was like 11:30. I said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I don't have it in me. It ain't working. So guess what? I'm going home, and we're gonna go home. We're gonna rest. We're going to get this good afternoon nap in. I'm going to give me a bite to eat. And I'm going to try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've gotten to the place now where I have to learn how to protect my peace and my space and my sanity. So no, at this point in my life, bruh, now I'm going to go back to your 25-year-old. That's you with that 25/8. Man, and you don't sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get it wrong. And get the work in. Do what you got to do. But find those places and find that balance, please.
For sure. No, absolutely.
Find that balance. Because what we don't need for you is we look up and we see you like, what happened to that brother? He like, oh, man. He gone.
Right, he gone.
Talking about who got the body.
Right. Talking about you got a potato salad. He was it. Yeah. I got a potato salad. Nah. I'm good.
So let's talk a minute about redefining the hustle culture.
Okay.
Redefining hustle culture. Now, healthy ambition versus a toxic hustle. Healthy ambition versus toxic hustle.
Right.
Where do you all lean on that?
Well, I mean, the term within itself. Okay, we already went to church one time today.
Yeah, because you know I'm like, don't take me there. I'll go there.
You know, like words have meaning. So, you know, people say I'm a hustler. I'm not a hustler. That has a connotation or definitional term that implies that you're doing something either too hard or you're doing it illegally. I grind all the time. I work hard. Got a Greek magazine, photography company, water company, Greek award show, amongst a whole bunch of other projects, but I'm gonna stay on my grind. I ain't hustling nobody. You know, you either with me or you're not.
Okay.
And I'm always I'm gonna give you the best thing I got. I'm gonna give you creativity. I'm gonna give you coolness. I'm gonna give you, you know, futuristic or contemporary type stuff. And it's up to you to rock with me. And if you don't, you don't. I mean, I just can't help that. But I'm not gonna be toxic. I'm not trying to nickel and dime people. I'm not trying to do anything kind of crazy. I'm not trying to go out of the realm of what natural business is supposed to do. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get the job done within the frames of making sure I'm still doing people right.
That brother said, Anita Baker, I'm gonna give you the best that I got.
Yeah. Hey, all I got.
All right. So ambition, hustle, or maybe there's a little bit of both in that space.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. For me specifically, especially in the space that I'm in right now. You know, I wrote about this in my blog post when probably like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, just kind of just the space that I'm in, you know, as somebody who but graduated, you know, undergrad 2-3 years ago, who's finding themselves in their career, you know, all that stuff. So I'm constantly having to balance, you know, the grind, quote unquote, and hustle of the entertainment industry, the grind and hustle of, you know, me being a content creator while also trying to, you know, achieve these dreams and make these dreams come true that I have, you know, set in stone for me. And, you know, again, as of recently, I kind of keep talking about this, but as of recently, I've really just allowed life to life, you know, not necessarily in a bad way, but I was the type of person where I like to be in control of everything. And, you know, you make plans and God laughs at it. And that's really what it was. And so, you know, I would get not necessarily frustrated, but a little bit discouraged in a sense when things didn't necessarily go the way that I may have planned it to go. But in retrospect, everything has happened according to what's needed to happen for me and according to the plan that God has for me. And so again, as of recently, like, you know, I apply pressure to certain things, but it's just like, if it's not for me, it's not for me. If it is, it is.
Right.
Come on, what God has for me, it is for me.
No, you know,
it's already. That's what I heard. I'm sorry, I do this.
That's it, bro.
I ain't remember the old church boy at heart, really, to be honest with you. I love it. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. So help us, or let's help the next generation.
Okay.
How do we redefine what success looks like in their lives, so that budding entrepreneur that's in undergrad right now at an HBCU, what words of encouragement, motivation, or how can we help redefine what success looks like? And they don't always have to think that, you know, I had to make it to a certain level, but success may be just making it to the next day for some. I'm be honest with you. Listen, I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. I listen. You know, that's right there. But what are some things that you all can share with this next generation to say, this is how you can help redefine what success looks like?
For sure. I mean, I think that success is an interesting word specifically. Like, there's no like one blanket statement to where you're like, if you reach this, you're successful. I think success is it varies with each person. Even all three men that are on this call right now, we all have our own perceptions of what success looks like in our own personal lives. And so for me, I think it's just a matter of, my main thing would be, what does success look like to you? And also be okay with if it doesn't end up coming that way. But again, apply pressure to where it needs to be applied, but don't be upset if things don't go exactly your way. That's just redirection. Again, things that are for you are for you, things that are not are not. And that's just the way it is. So for me, I have short-term goals and I have long-term goals. I have goals I want to achieve by the end of the week. I have goals that I want to achieve by the end of the month. I have goals that I want to achieve by the end of the year. Again, if those things don't happen the way that I may have intended them to happen, I'm not necessarily like beating myself up about it, but I'm applying pressure and pushing to those goals every day. Perfect example, a lot of people kind of ask me, like I'm in the process of writing a book right now. They're like, how are you able to write a book and like do this and do that and do everything? And a lot of people think that consistency is kind of like a straight and narrow type of thing, but it's not. Consistency can look like this one day, it can look like this one day, it can look like this another day. One day I'll spend 2 hours writing, a story. Another I'll spend 2 minutes. But every day I'm opening my laptop, working on that project. So again, consistency is key, but consistency is not a straight, like it's not 2 hours every day locked in doing that.
Oh, no. But even with some of your, because you may be doing some reflective moments about what you want to put in this book. You may even look at some of the blogs that you have written over the past weeks, months, years, be like, oh, wait, this might be some good content I can add or I can navigate into something.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. All right. So, Antoine, what about you? How do we redefine success?
So, I mean, it's an internal measure. So one thing I will say is we got to make sure, especially for our younger generation folks, social media is not real.
Yeah.
So basing your life off the best moments of somebody else's life compared to your worst moments or your regular moments is not equivalent. You can't match up to that. I can't match up to Austin's best day because that's all he gonna post. So I can't even level myself on it. I have to go by what's important to me and the goals that I have internally. And it's cool, you can post stuff here and there and all that stuff, but your goals come from you. How do I want it? What do I want to get accomplished today, tomorrow, 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now? And you set those goals and you work towards them. And then once you reach those goals, however long that takes, then you celebrate yourself and you celebrate with people that care about you. But you can't, your success can't be dependent on other people's success, right?
This is true.
Success is dependent on what goals you created in your brain and you work towards those. And once we start looking, I mean, even if we're talking about running track, I was a basketball man, but running track, you can't run as fast as you run it if you look at left and right. You're looking straight ahead towards your goal and running as fast as you can to get there, then you good, and all you can do is just do your best. Stay in your lane, like all these track things, stay in your lane, run your race. Don't worry about everybody else, what they saying. I don't hear, when I was hooping, I didn't hear people in the crowd go, man, that skinny kid sucks. I was out there hooping. I'm balling out of control and I'm just doing the best I can do. That the external people that didn't work in the gym, they didn't plan, they didn't prepare, they wasn't at practice, they wasn't passing the ball, they wasn't shooting the ball, they wasn't dribbling the ball every 5 seconds. They don't know anything about my preparation. They're just a fanatic, a fan. So they can't necessarily change my trajectory or do anything to stop me from getting to where I need to be. I'm gonna do me, and I suggest they do them.
So I love the fact that you all talked about one, staying in your lane. Also, and finding those short-term, long-term goals. Really understand that consistency is not the same for everyone, but you're staying consistent, knowing that other than like the end goal is I want to finish writing this book. Whether I'm spending 2 minutes today, 2 hours tomorrow, I'm reflecting the next day. But but it's a path. It's a path. But you got to get to the end of it at some point. And work your plan. Work your plan. All right. Just so you know, the real Kev Bracey on Instagram wanted to I don't know if you're looking at on Instagram. Antoine, but he wanted to let you know I'm on Go Mob. How's it? Go Mab? Go Mob? But I
You know,
don't
Bob. Yeah, what is gonna
I
get
don't want
Friday?
to be disrespectful to your
It's
organization.
okay, man. It's okay, man. I love it. Yeah, go mom to the good brother out there, man. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. Look, hopefully conclave in July. We in July conclave acting the fool down in Tampa. You just come through.
Oh my gosh, y'all gonna get down there and show out and
Yes,
cut
sir.
the food. I can only imagine. So now, we talked a little bit about again the whole idea of the soft life. You know, I just want to go back to that real quick and just not to talk about soft life, but do we want to think of that as more of a lifestyle and not a flex? So I'm thinking about, what was the guy? I'm going with the athlete who had the whole video with the, wake up 4 a.m, he do the ice face bath, and he got to do the banana peel, and he's got to read, he's got to go swimming. But is this really a lifestyle, or is this just is people out here just flexing doing this type of stuff?
I mean, it's easy to make it, and I'm not saying that it's real or fake.
We're gonna do the content creator.
I don't know him, but I'm just saying that it's easy to create a perception of who you are, on social media. Like my brother right here, just mentioned, social media is fake, and people, post their best moments. If people create a character of who they are, on social media, so that could be fake, that could be real. You never know.
I know that's right. I just think there's something, and I'm gonna go back real. I'm gonna just say this, like, I think that Shannon Sharp, all his stuff, I just think that's just like, I think he's controlling the narrative, and that's just stuff to keep him relevant. That's just me. That's just Anthonyism. That's just my soapbox, my thoughts, my feelings.
Ain't no telling. It ain't no telling, man. But again, that's rich people problems. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a pay grade right now.
Here's the question for you all: What has brought you peace lately? What has brought you peace lately?
Man, walking into what you prayed for, what you work for. Like I've been doing a lot of work, in the fraternity, in my business, and to be able to be recognized. Just regular people. Hey man, I see your work out there. I see what you're doing. I mean, I've been doing photography 20 years. I'll be a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated 26 years in 2 days. So I've been working, serving. I've been working in my businesses for a long, long time, and sometimes it takes that long to get where you're trying to go. And so a lot of people give up. God, no, Lord knows I done give up a million times. People say, man, don't ever quit. I mean, I done quit 500,000 times. But I got back on the train, and sometimes the train.
Don't quit.
Yeah, I ain't telling nobody don't quit. I know I didn't quit a couple of times, but I know that I always restarted eventually. So you can call that quitting, you can call that not quitting, but I jumped back on the horse after it threw me off, and I dusted myself off. I cried a little bit. I slept in the bed 2 straight weeks. I went to my therapist. got some meds. I did a whole lot of things to get back to the square, and then I started over. I might be further behind or further ahead than I was the last time I crashed. But to have that piece of a long 2 decades worth of work, and people finally say, "Hey man, hey brother, what's going? Hey man, yeah man, I saw that photo. That was fire." Like it really means a lot when you put your heart and soul into everything you do, and knowing that every click of the button is how I provide for my family, how I provide for myself, how I help other people. So every photo shoot that somebody booked is a privilege and an honor to serve them. To capture those moments. Like that's not something I take lightly. But yeah, man, just being to a point where all that hard work, all those seeds planted, if we want to get back into the word, all those seeds planted, you finally start to see a couple little buds here and there, and then some of them blossoming, some of them looking kind of rough over there. You got to add a little water to them, but that's peaceful, man. That's peaceful.
Wow. Okay. Also, what about you? What how do you find, what has been your peace lately?
Yeah. Honestly, I would say that my peace lately has just been a moment of knowing and understanding and just being okay that everything like happens when it does, and everything will work out. I it's funny because I tweeted about it a couple weeks ago. Like I was just like, I'll figure it out, but I'm gonna like cry about it or crash out about it first, but it's gonna be figured out. And I think that that's brought me a lot of peace as of recently, like not even like crashing out about it in a sense, but just being like, okay, like this didn't happen the way that I thought, or this is not, gonna happen the way that I thought. I can't control it. I can only do what I can control. Everything else that's out of my control, don't stress about it. Just let it go. And that's literally brought me like so much peace as recently. Like literally again, within the past like few months, that's been a revelation that I've understood and realized and just recognized, and just being okay with it didn't happen. I did everything in my control that I can do. Cool. Move on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So listen, you all have been sharing some good nuggets of knowledge to make sure that people understand that we as Black men, we're not lazy. We might be a little burnt out at times. We just got a lot on our plates. However, at the same time, we recognize the fact that we got to be able to balance these things, make sure we can control or manage to the best of our abilities our peace, and protect our peace at all costs. Right. And when it's time to prepare the others, we gonna tell you to prepare the others in this day and space. Now listen, before we get up out of here, now, gentlemen, typically, as we get ready to, I want to ask you all some other questions. I want to learn a little bit more about some of the work that you all do. But before we do that, it's interesting that Austin talked about he wants to write a book. Now, Antoine, well, Dr. Jones, you wrote a book. Didn't you write a book? You had a book?
I did. Yes, sir.
Okay, so listen, I'm here for it. So listen. All right, so typically every so often, listen, ladies and gentlemen, every blue moon, we want to tell you some good news is happening. So, all right, brothers. Now, listen, before we jump into what we call our Habarigani moment, and we talk about some of the other good news that's happening in our guest lives, I want to take a second to celebrate something special happening this summer. Yes, this summer, I'm dropping something that's been on my heart, and I've been working on it for a long time. And as Austin just said, I've been very consistent with this, and I'm going to be dropping this summer my new book.
Okay.
Yes. A new book is called Inspire Me Moments, Living Out Loud with No Regrets. It's a living memoir of stories, reflections, and roadmaps for walking in your purpose, unapologetically, authentically, and boldly. Now, whether you're navigating leadership, healing from setbacks, or trying to live life on your terms, this book is full of real talk and inspiration for the journey. Now, we're not just surviving out here, we're living out loud. So stay tuned for pre-orders will start soon. And you already know that the Cave fam is going to take a first look when it drops. So I'm excited about this. I hope you are excited about this as well.
That's so awesome, bro. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Bruh. So when the brother talked about that consistent, bro, you had no idea. There's days that I can spend a few minutes.
Yeah.
There are days I could be on this book the entire day.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the other day, I think I just rewrote the whole chapter 3. I was like, throw the whole damn thing away. I'm just gonna rewrite the whole thing because it's like I was on something.
Yeah, and that's real. And I think it's important again to like you can step back and like relook at it with fresh eyes, fresh minds. Be like, okay, like maybe that didn't make sense. Maybe I should take it out. But also, I've been learning to also love things enough to let it go. I know that, as individuals, projects are like our babies, and, we're so self-conscious about it. We want it to be perfect, but I think it's important to be okay with like leaving stuff how it is and be like, okay, I did my best with it. I can't continue to tweak it anymore because the more you tweak it, it might fall apart.
Yeah, there were some things I just let go. I said, a couple of them I went back to because I had like that one chapter. I was like, I had let it go for like 3 months. I was like, I'm just gonna but I went back this week and was like, wait, something else jogged my memory, and it's just like, no, I can make that portion of the story, make it really explode with this I don't know, with this it's gonna really make it set off. So I'm excited about where we're at. My publisher has it. He's doing some edits. I'm like, I said, listen, we're not adding nothing else. If you see a grammatical error, that's fine. But I'm not adding. It's 11 chapters. I ain't adding no more.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything else is gonna be book 2.
Right.
So Dr. Jones, talk about, if you can, what was it like in your journey when you were putting your book together?
Yeah, because it was something that I had wanted to do forever. Because it's just the nature of everything that I've ever done. It all goes back to service, right? Fraternity is service. Every job I had has been some type of service. So when I wrote the book, it was about, okay, I've been in the industry for, then it was maybe 16 years, right? How can I help other people not have to bump their heads as much in business as I want to? Because my degree is in marketing. So I taught high school marketing for some years, and then I've been doing photography and marketing and branding and all that for 20 years. So here are some things that you can do so that you don't bust your head up against the wall like I did, and that just helps empower the next generation or two along the line. And it took a long time to start it, but then once I started it just breezed through, like it just came out. My publisher helped me, man. The crew was great, and then like once I finally sat down and said, okay, this is what I want to get done, we breezed through it because it's more like a journal, which was funny. We talked about journals earlier. It's kind of some stories in there to kind of give you a little bit of gist of my life and how it relates to the topic area. And then it was like, okay, now you need to go and try this, and then report back to your paper and write it down what you did and how it helped you. And so you could literally start the book anywhere. You can start chapter 15, you can start chapter 25, you can start chapter 3, you can go back to 1. It don't matter where you started because there's going to be something in there for you no matter where you start. And that's how I wanted to write a book. But that's just kind of how my brain works. It's like, there is no 1 to 10. It could be 5, 4, 3, 7, 12.
I was all out of order. I was everywhere. This book started off really because it was part of my therapy. My therapist, because I was journaling because I had lost my mom and my dad.
Got you.
And I had lost my mind after that. And I could not, I lost my mom during the pandemic. And I just struggled, and I didn't know how to bounce back and so he had me to start journaling. And then from the journals, I start blogging. From the blogging, I start vlogging. And from the vlogs, I just translated all the videos into the book. So all my journals and stuff became that's the book. I was writing the book for years and didn't even realize I was writing it.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yeah. All that experience, man, and pour out.
Yeah.
So, all right, listen. So we have another segment as we get ready to get up out of here in a little bit. We have a segment called Habari Gani Moment, which is a Swahili word for good news, or what is the news in our community. So here's an opportunity, gentlemen, where you all get to share with our viewing audience. A shout out again to everybody who's watching us on Instagram, on Historically Black Sense, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Thank you for those who are watching us on the replay right now. If you like, comment, follow, and subscribe, we're going to hit you back. Please like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Thank you for sharing. Listen, I saw some shares. These are people who actually shared this on Facebook. Thank you. If you share it on Instagram, thank you. Appreciate it. Maybe next week I'll have Shay and Shane back, and we'll have some more robust conversations. But now, so let's talk about Habari Gani. So fellas, in this Habari Gani space, you can talk about what's happening in your career. You can talk about some good news that's happening personally. We already know about the books. We know about the book that you've written. We know about the book that you're planning to write. If there's anything
I'm writing it.
No, that you're writing. There we go. That you're writing. If you want to talk about, let's see, a little bit more about the magazine. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all some clues. The magazine, or the website, or the award show, or you want to talk about Bel Air, or I don't know. I don't want to tell it all. I'm gonna let you all tell it. So, Arthur, we're gonna go with you first and put you in the hot seat. What is your Habari Gani? What is the good news you have for the people today?
Let's see. Good news. Well, like I said, I just got picked up working for Bel Air season 4. I'm not gonna say I was shocked. Like I know I put in the work, so I was happy that they called me back. But prior to that, I was a producer on the Jennifer Hudson show, and so it was nice to you know, be on that and again go to Bel Air. My main focus graduating from college and working in the entertainment industry, my main focus is working with Black television and telling Black stories and telling positive Black stories. And when I first moved out to LA, my first show was Fight Night, which was produced by Kevin Hart and Will Packer. Then after that wrapped, I moved on to Bel Air season 3. Then I moved to Jennifer Hudson's show season 3. Now I'm on Bel Air season 4. So going to an HBCU and then working in these rooms and working on these shows makes myself really proud. So that's some great news. And then again, working on my book, you guys can check out my blog as well if you go to my website, www.austinreed.com, AUSTUN. There's 2 U's because it's all about me. Remember that. AUSTNREID.com. You can check out my blog. You can also find me on all socials at Austin Reed. Again, 2 U's, AUSTUNREID, just to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Again, writing a book. I'm writing some pilot episodes for some shows I'm getting ready to pitch. So a lot of things in the work.
Awesome song, brother. Come on. Antoine,
Awesome.
what about you?
So me, like I'm steady on the grind, not the hustle, but 2019 I created this thing called Majority Greek Magazine. So it was basically the Essence magazine for Black fraternities and sororities, right? Because there is no, and has never been. So I tell people we have 9 organizations and 8 of them have been around 100 years or more. And there has never been an Essence style magazine that highlights what we do. And now that we're getting closer to moving back to the 40s and 50s, the fraternities and sororities are even more needed like they were back then to jump in this social action realm, jump into this fight that we're going to be fighting with voter rights and civil rights and all that stuff. So being able to highlight members that are doing that thing, like my brother, Alpha brother over there, it is really important to do that. So I get to use my photography skills and his media skills to highlight people from all over the globe. And then we transformed that also into an award show. So now we have the Essence magazine for Greeks. We also have like the Grammys for Greeks. So that's just growing. We started with 1 show in Atlanta here, and then it's grown to Houston. Houston will be year 2 next month. Fayetteville, North Carolina will be year 2 in November. Year 1 in Birmingham is September. Year 1 in Augusta, Georgia is in August. So we've grown this thing of highlighting, giving flowers, but people don't know that, their favorite doctors, lawyers, judges, politicians, eye care professionals, your gym teacher, these people are Greeks. And if we can highlight them, and get these people back into the understanding that, this world is so important, then, we could really do some things. So those are my main things. And again, like I said, I got to give him a shout out. My son, I got my daughter's going to NYU for grad school shortly. The middle one is graduating from high school, and he will be going to our alma mater, the Fayetteville State University. So we got a legacy going into the house. So I'm excited about that. He's gonna be in the band too, where his mama was the drum major when she was in college. He's gonna be in the drum line doing his thing. So y'all pray my strength in the Lord that this dude keep right. Because you be a good looking Black dude on the drum line at the HBCU. We gotta temper that ego. But I'm excited. I got some great kids, and the little one, he's already on campus because he's in dual enrollment. So it's great to be able to say, I mean, my kids are doing all right. They ain't crazy. They ain't doing nothing out of the control. Their grades are taken care of, and that's the biggest blessing you can have as a parent, because you just never know. It ain't no manual to that. You just hit or miss. You just throwing darts and hoping you don't create a psychopath.
Right. Real quick before we get it right. All right.
Yo, you already see that. Look, where you at? Look, you see that?
I see it.
In the back. Yeah, for sure. We're running the back. They know what it is. But it's cool. We know that Ohio State is it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
All right, listen, before we get everybody else, I wanted to there was something else I wanted to ask. Now I went blank that quick. Because I saw the Ohio State because I know you said you were originally from Youngstown.
Yes, born and raised.
Wait, also you're in California, correct?
I'm in California, yeah, but I was born in Alabama, raised in Maryland.
Gotcha.
Okay. Awesome. And Antoine, you are now located where?
I'm in Atlanta. Yeah, I've been in Atlanta like 9 years almost.
Oh, wait a minute. I might need to do a photo shoot.
Yes, let's do it. We're gonna get on this majority Greek side. We can go on this regular side. This is what I do.
Listen, I'll be there Thursday.
We'll be here. Our regional conference starts on Friday. So yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be crazy around here.
Oh, you're gonna be busy. Dog.
No, give me up Thursday. We'll be ready. We'll be good. We'll be good.
I'll be in town this weekend. It's my birthday.
Yo, oh come on. Yeah, we light it up.
Well, I'm actually coming for work. I got some school work I gotta do. It's for work. But it just happens to be my birthday.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. Yeah.
You know, so I get
pain and pleasure. We got you.
Oh, so I even get to see my producer Adrena at the same time. Adrena, I'm coming to Atlanta. Surprise.
Hey. That's too crazy.
Okay, last thing, fellas. And for those who are even watching us online, real quick, just a reflection question as we talk about, we were talking about again, as men, we are not lazy. We are just, we are protecting our peace. And we don't get burnt out. What is one thing that you are going to do this week to rest? That's it. What is one thing you're going to do this week to rest?
I'll see on the other side of this camera, it's this thing called the queen size bed. So I'm about to lay in it. I probably ain't gonna make it up for like 3-4 days because I'm gonna just lay it where you get the print in there and the pillow like perfectly contoured to your face and your neck. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I don't sleep too much. So I'm gonna get that good rest. That one where you snoring, you sound like a grizzly bear. Yeah, I'm gonna
get that one little drizzle.
Look, you wake up, you gotta I'm gonna be all
yeah.
That's it, man.
Likewise, I have not rested properly in the past couple of weeks, and so before the show gets too crazy, as soon as we hop off this call, but I hop in the shower and I hop into bed, and then I'm done until Monday morning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here, right here in the HBCU Man Cave. So your affirmation for this week is understand that my rest is productive. And another affirmation is I don't have to earn my worth because my worth is mine.
Mm-hmm.
I already got it. So this week, rest intentionally, uplift another brother who needs to hear it. Hey, to learn more about the HBCU Man Cave and historically Black sense, visit our website at hbcusense.com. As always, I'm your boy, your uncle, your cousin, and your best friend. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of the HBCU Man Cave, a safe space for men to relate, relax, and release. Until next time, I need for you all to stay strong, stay proud, and stay Black, y'all.
Let's go.
Peace.